Welcome to the video. Today I'll be showing you how to complete the Bay of Drowned Witches Legend Lost sector on all characters. Before we get into it, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this, and follow me on Twitch if you want to see me do this live. First of all, here's the Warlock loadout, without an explanation, in case you don't care about the explanation. And now for the explanation. We'll be using Izanagis and an auto-loading rocket launcher. The rocket launcher doesn't matter, all that matters is that it has auto-loading. Palmyra B is a great example. We'll be using the hand cannon for the unstoppables, and overload grenades from the artifact to stun overloads. Very important, this has to be a void grenade in order to stun the overloads. All the armor mods are the exact same for all characters, and you don't have to use everything. The more of the things that you use, the easier it will be, but if you don't have everything, or if you just don't want to use everything, it's also fine, but the more you use, the easier it will be. Also, the closer you are to 1550, the easier this will also be. For the subclass, we're running Cataclysm, Vortex Grenade, Child of the Old Gods, Feed the Void. The fragments are Echo of Expulsion, Echo of Undermining, Echo of Starvation, and Echo of Persistence. The most important thing here is just to have uptime on your Devourer. That's basically all that matters. Copy the rest. These don't actually need an explanation. Child of the Old Gods don't really need an explanation as well, because we don't need it, so just use it or use the other one, whatever suits you. The most important thing here is Feed the Void, because this grants us Devour every time we get an ability kill, Void ability kill. Devourer is gonna keep us alive and give us our grenade back. We're using our grenade to stun the overload champions. Therefore we need to also have it as often as possible. Anytime we kill something with a void grenade, or just ability in general, we'll get Devourer. While we kill something, while we have Devourer, we'll get our grenade back super fast. This makes sure that we always have a grenade for the overloads. There's only 2 overloads, but it's still very necessary that you have your grenade when it comes up. I'll also explain this further in the gameplay section. These are the mods we'll be using on our armor pieces. Discipline mods to have as much discipline as possible. Overload grenades to stun the overloads. Devouring depths are super, will deal more damage when we have Devour, and we're gonna have Devour up all the time. Reaping Wellmaker to create wells. The first kill you get after using your class ability will create a void well. Absolution will give us abilities back, and this will give us health back. You can also use this. This gives you your grenades back every time you pick up an orb of power. That's up to you. Volatile Flow is super great if you're using a void weapon. We're using a bunch of arc and solar resistances and Fonts of Might. Hand Cannon Unstoppable, but if you're using the Pulse Rifle, use Pulse Rifle Unstoppable. Will of Tenacity for more survivability, 50% damage resistance. For the exotic, I'm using this Rexin. This is great for getting void abilities back. You can also use Verity's Brow. If you don't have any of these, no exotic is also very viable, so just use whatever you want. That's it for the Warlock build. Now let's get into the Warlock gameplay. Kill these with your void grenade to get Devour. Stun the champion, shoot your rocket, switch to Izanagis and shoot him. Remember to always load another shot into your Izanagis after you shoot it, so that you always have it ready. Now all you need to do is just kill all the creeps before you move on, to keep up your Devour. Use a rocket for the sniper. Stun the champion with your grenade. sit up here and wait for the next champion. After the champion is dead, all you need to do is just clear all the creeps and the door will open. Kill these balls so they don't explode and kill you. Stun the champion immediately. Now all you need to do is just clear ads before the boss spawns. I like to sit up here behind all the enemies before the boss spawns. This makes it easier to grab the chest afterwards. When you see him spawn, use your Nova Bomb and collect your loot. Here's the Hunter loadout in case you don't care about the explanation. And now for the explanation. We'll be using the Izanagis with an auto-loading rocket. The rocket itself doesn't matter, all that matters is that it has auto-loading. A hand cannon for unstoppables. This is very important that it's a void hand cannon. We're using overload grenades from the artifact to stun the overloads. This is very important that it's a void grenade, but if you're following the build, then you should be using a void grenade. The most important part of our build is Echo of Starvation. This gives us Devour every time we pick up an Orb of Power. Echo of Persistence makes our Devour last longer, which is very nice. Everything else on here doesn't matter that much, just copy it to make sure you're using the same thing. Mobius Quiver is 100% the best super to use for this, don't use any other. As I said, the most important thing is that we have Devour. Devour will give us our grenade back whenever we're affected by Devour, and we need our grenade to stun the overload champions, so we need to make sure that we can get our grenade back immediately. 100 Discipline helps a lot with this, but we also need a way to create orbs of power in order to get Devour in the first place. Harmonic Siphon will help us with that. Rapid Void weapon kills will give us an orb of power. So the first thing we will do when we get in is just create an orb of power, pick that up, and now we'll have Devour for 12 seconds. Now we just have to kill something within 12 seconds for the rest of the last sector, and that way we'll have Devour all the time, and everything we kill while we have Devour will give us our grenade back. It won't give us the whole grenade back, but it will almost give us everything back. We're using Volatile Flow to make our void weapons better every time we pick up a well. Unstoppable Hand Cannon. If you're using a pulse rifle, use this instead. Reaping Wellmaker. Every time we use our class ability, our next kill will make a void well. A bunch of arc and solar resistances. Fonts of Might. These two leg mods will give us our abilities back faster. Elemental Ordnance to make a well every time we get a grenade kill. Overload grenades as mentioned earlier. Devouring Depths will make our super do more damage when we're affected by Devour, and if you're doing everything correctly, you should be affected by Devour all the time. Well of Tenacity for more survivability. That's it for the Hunter build. Now let's get into the Hunter gameplay. First thing you want to do is load your Izanagis. Now get 2 kills with your void weapon to create an orb of power. Stun the champion. Shoot your rocket at it, and then your Izanagis. Remember to always load your Izanagis after you shoot it once. Pick up the orb of power to get Devour. Now kill something, and keep your Devour up. I recommend killing all the creeps before you go further. Kill the sniper with your rocket. Stun the overload with your grenade. Sit up here and wait for the next unstoppable. Now all you need to do is kill all those creeps and then the door will open. Shoot these balls so they don't explode and kill you. Stun the overload champion. And now you just kill ads until the boss spawns. I like to stay back here until the boss spawns. This makes it easier to get the chest after you kill him. Here's the Titan loadout in case you don't care about the explanation. And now for the explanation. We'll be using Izanagi's and an auto-loading rocket to kill these champions. The most important thing is that it has auto-loading. The rocket launcher itself doesn't matter. A hand cannon for our unstoppables. The most important thing is that it's void. The most important thing about this build is getting your grenade back as fast as possible. Discipline will help with that, but what will help the most is Devour. Echo of Starvation gives you Devour every time you pick up an orb of power. So now all we need to do is have a way to create orbs of power. And we do that by using a harmonic siphon. This will create an orb of power every time we get a rapid kill with our void weapon. So the first thing you will do when you get in the lost sector is create an orb of power. Pick it up, now you have Devour, and now you just need to kill something for every 12 seconds. For every kill you get, you'll get closer to getting your grenade back. This will ensure that you have your grenade to stun the champions. We're using overload grenades to stun overload champions, and that's why we need our grenade as often as possible. We're using Bubble, but you can also use Sentinel Shield if you want to get some more ad clear. These are the fragments. All that matters is Echo of Persistence, Echo of Starvation. This will make your Devour last longer. Weakening grenades are also super good. Suppressor grenade. We're using some mods that will benefit us when we suppress stuff, so this is the best grenade to use. These two aspects are very important. This one will charge your grenade when you have an overshield. And this one will give you an overshield when you pop your barricade. This is super good for a grenade recharge, making sure we have it all the time, and the overshield is good survivability. For the armor mods, we used elemental ordnance to create void wells on grenade kills. Unstoppable hand cannon. You can also use a pulse rifle. Just make sure it's a void pulse rifle. Well of tenacity for survivability. A bunch of solar and arc resistance. Reaping Wellmaker. Every time we use our class ability, our next kill will give us a void well. These two leg mods will give us more abilities. Volatile Flow will make our void weapons way better. Overload grenades, as mentioned earlier, we'll use these to stun the overloads, and that's why we need to have them up as often as possible. Very important, this has to be a void grenade, but if you're following the build, you will already be using a void grenade. Energy Vampirism. Gain energy for your leech charge ability when you suppress a target, and that's why we're using this suppressor grenade. This gives us more chances of getting our grenade back. Fonts of Might for better void weapons. For the exotic armor, I'm using Heart of Inmost Light. The exotic armor really doesn't matter, you can also run no exotic if you don't have any good ones, but Heart of Inmost Light is super good if you have it, so consider that. And that's it for the Titan build. Let's get into the Titan gameplay. The first thing you want to do is load your Izanagis. Kill 2 enemies with your void weapon here to create an orb of power. Stun the champion, shoot your rocket launcher, then your Izanagis. Remember to always load your Izanagis after you use it so that you always have a shot ready. Pick up the orb of power to get Devour. Now just kill something every 12 seconds to keep Devour up. I recommend killing every creep before you move on to the next. That way they don't come up behind you. Kill the sniper with your rocket launcher. Use your grenade for the champion. Sit up here and wait for the next champion. Kill all the creeps to open the door. Remember that you can charge your grenade by having an overshield. Shoot the balls up here so they don't explode and kill you. Use a grenade for the champion. Now all you need to do is just kill ads and then the boss will spawn. I pop my bubble here, but you can pop it anywhere. And now just use your rocket and your Izanagis for the boss.